Hello, everybody. Hope all y'all doing good. It is Saturday, March 27th, 2021. Welcome to this edition of the Shattering. I am Chris Lotus, joined along with
The Siren Richardson.
this man got he getting official with it. He said D. This man got he said D.
I sure did.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Finally on spring
Good,
break.
good. What's up?
I said I'm finally on spring break.
Oh, cool. Okay. I've been out of freaking school for a while now. Like, I graduated some years ago from college, so I always kind of get like flashbacks. It's like, oh, spring break. I forgot it was a thing. But I mean, I was kind of a workaholic or whatever. So I mean, but I guess I kind of miss those days. I guess. I mean, when it comes to growing up, I'm kind of apathetic about the whole thing.
Yeah.
But how's your spring break been?
Well, just started, so
Really? Just getting started?
yeah, literally I got a whole bunch of work done yesterday. I'm like, oh, okay. And I basically got this whole day free because all my other friends are busy, so.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's pretty cool. Well, let's get right into it. This week's trailer, even though considering the character is not really a high favorite of mine, it made me quite happy. Earlier, and I'm pretty sure a couple of you mentioned it in my video and all around, we did not expect to see Team New Faces or a member to be revealed this early. Like, at this point, I'm sure you realize it. We know the character is coming, but the fact still remains. Yashiro has been revealed before Ryo Sakazaki.
That is pretty wild.
At this point, it's a fact.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about Yashiro, Siren?
It's a character I don't know a ton about. I know he's one of the hockey shoe, but
Yeah.
honestly, I have not played a whole lot of Team CYS at all, or Team Orochi, or whatever you guys want to call it. I've played I've played as like Chris on that team, and that's like the only person I kinda slightly figured out. Shormy is kind of fun, but yeah, I kind of figured out Chris. He's got like that weird flip kick thing that's goes like a full circle, and then he's got like some other stuff. I like playing as Orochi Chris a little bit, but yeah, I usually play the art of fighting characters or just someone who catches my eye. But Team CYS, I know you gotta be pretty excited about it.
Yeah. Before we get to that, you mentioned Chris, not me, Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting, and this is nothing personally against the character for me. It's just like I've seen other people talk about Chris, and he didn't like. I mean, it's just really cool to see like he has fans like more than usual. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if they're in the chat. Shout outs to Suichi and hey Super Duper in the chat. Good to see you again as always. Cause I talked a little bit to Suichi about it in my reaction to Yashiro's trailer, and in the general area, I think in Brazil, Suichi had mentioned that Chris is actually very popular there.
Really?
And it's like, yeah, apparently so. Like they like Chris. I mean, hey, regional favorites are nothing too weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people have like their regional favorites, all of that. It happens a whole bunch. You see it across different different media basically. There'll be certain bands that are more popular in this part of the country, like this part of the world, opposed to like even where they might come from. Like the first example that comes to mind for me which, funny enough, y'all might be thinking about the SNK, the fighting, the AOF title. Basically, he's a character in like SNK, like you know what I'm talking about. But no, I'm talking about the band that Mr. Big was named after, more than likely. Mr. Big had done the theme song for at least one of the ones that I know the best, and that was the original first season of, oh my god. I'm drawing a blank on it. Hellsing. I was about to say the vampire anime. Like, they did, actually the closing song, yeah. They did the closing song of that. It's called Shine. And apparently, like, Mr. Big is a band from over here in America, but apparently they are huge. They got really huge in Japan, which might have, I don't know if it was before or after, because I'm not really that well versed on, you know, Mr. Big's, like, music career. I have to keep mentioning here, I'm talking about the band, not the character, but...
Yeah, I always think of the character because I've never actually heard of the band before.
Check it out. There is a hard rock band that sprung up around here at the time of, I think they got like an endorsement from David Lee Roth of Van Halen fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a band called Mr. Big. And I don't know if this preceded them, but I almost want to think that however they got popular in Japan led to them doing something like the closing credit song, the closer of an anime series. So maybe that's the same thing with Chris. Like, maybe it's a regional thing. I mean, I'm not saying the character's bad. He's just not a favorite of mine personally. I don't think like he's a trash character. Chris, that is. Chris, not me, or not me, Chris. I have to keep saying that. Shout out to Suichi, honestly. Like, I don't know if Suichi's in the chat yet, but Suichi caught on to the whole. I usually do that whenever I'm talking to friends and there's a character with my name in there, and I always say not me, Chris, or whatever. But I don't think not me, Chris is a bad character in any sense. Then he just wasn't a favorite of mine. But when I would look around at the general consensus about him, like, he was often like the least favorite of the trio. But hey, just because of that does not mean he doesn't have fans, because he clearly does.
Yeah.
Orochi Chris actually was pretty cool. Like, I prefer his Orochi form and Yashiro's Orochi form as opposed to
Shermie's?
I hated Shermie's to be.
I'm alright with it, but it's like a little odd.
Oh my god.
It's like this weird mix of like Benny Maru, and then she has like this weird electric kiss thing that just reminded me of Ash's one move from 13. I know that move was way before 13, but it just reminded me of it, and I was like, what? Oh.
I think at least Benny Maru had enough control and sense over his electrical powers to not even give it slightly a chance at hitting Benny Maru himself.
Actually, he had this one taunt. That's the one biggest gripe I have with it. He had this one taunt where he hits himself by accident with electricity. In 13, I think.
But the thing is, he does not... I don't think he gambles on it like that. Like, the mess... And I know it's just one move that probably nobody uses with Orochi Shermie, but... Why gamble it on it? Like, why gamble on the lightning possibly hitting you?
I mean, if you're lucky, but if you're not...
You would have to be Phoenix Wright lucky to have that mess not hit you hit you one time. Phoenix Wright luck would be the lightning hitting you and it doesn't kill you and you win the match despite the fact your mess backfired on you.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, because someone else in my video had said it in the comments, I was thinking that there might have been like a Yashiro hybrid with like his Orochi abilities there, because I love the mess where he was basically taking people by the leg, and as I said in my video, swinging them back and forth like Hulk did to Loki in the first Avengers film. Like, that was fun. I mean, I thought they were going to give him one of those command throws, but it just so happened to be a regular throw, and as far as what we saw, we didn't really see much of it. We didn't even really see Yashiro do those charge punches. Like, he did some charge punches, but he never fully charged them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Something I always thought was interesting was like sometimes the charge moves, if you charge them enough, they do more damage, and sometimes they're just there just to charge them if you need to delay them. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, because, and then also on top of damage with certain moves like that, for instance, there will be moves, and this kind of goes across a bunch of different fighting games. Sometimes when you charge the move faster, like when you charge it, it's not faster, but if you charge it up for a long enough time, what'll happen is the fact that you actually get armor properties if you happen to charge it up for long enough.
Yeah.
You get that. And then also, of course, there's mind games with it. For instance, let's say someone thinks, oh my goodness, they're charging it up, so I'm gonna jump. And then they release it early and you get anti-aired, and then if it's the right type of move, you get pushed all the way across the screen and a knockdown, and so back to the hurdles you go.
Yep.
Hey Jose, how you doing? Everybody in the chat, how you doing? We got 7 watching right now. I'm glad you all are here because the last segment of this podcast, we are going to be doing some numbers. Some interesting numbers. You're talking about you on spring break. I don't know if you're taking any math classes, but we are about to do some very, 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 very complicated.
The closest thing I have to a math class right now would probably be economics.
You said economics?
Yeah. That's a close.
Your siren all right over there, by chance?
I'm being a little quiet right now. I probably should get a little closer to the mic, but.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Economics, I think, is about close. I mean, it's not just about money, but it's also about math and, where that money will go, which will effectively determine, hey, positive outcome, negative outcome.
Now I have a new fear: credit card debt. Good thing I don't have a credit card. Oh.
Yeah, but well, Yashiro's trailer was actually it was decent.
It wasn't
think it was
half
on par
bad
with any of the other trailers that we've seen, but
better than Shooters.
at the same time, the funny thing about it was for somebody like me, and I mean plenty of y'all, because I saw it all over on the SNK release, the official video release, and the comments there. I'm pretty sure any hardcore Yashiro fans were probably annoyed with the fact, guys, it's Yashiro's trailer. Why are we talking about Shermie? This is Yashiro's time. Why is everybody talking about Shermie? It's Yashiro's time. We saw Yashiro first. Why are you talking about That's why I tried not to mention her too much when I did my reaction, because I didn't want to be that guy. Yashiro's not a bad character. I think he's actually pretty cool. He would be my second favorite in the band. But I just, that's more so because of his Orochi form.
I'm just imagining if Goro gets dropped, just the disappointment people will have, because it's there's not a ton of people. I know there's a couple people out there, but there's not a ton of people who are rooting for Goro Diamond.
Yeah.
I never figured out how to even do anything with him. I tried, and I'm like, what? How do I don't get it. And then I dropped the character immediately.
To my Goro Daimon?
Yeah.
He actually, I think this might have been the first KOF 14 main event at Evo, I think. Top 8. Because I know he won, I think the guy's name is E.T. or something. I know a couple of different faces in the KOF community, though, but I'm still learning names and all that, because I just love how diverse it is. People think about pro players in all these SNK games, be it Sam Show, KOF, but they always think about them being in the Central Americas and in even in South America.
Yeah.
But of course you have it's got quite an audience in Korea, some in China, because Xiaohai, one of my favorite players, unfortunately love him, but it's one of my friends, we were talking about him, he just sometimes can't seem to pull off a big, you want to, but hey, that gives you more of an incentive to cheer for the guy.
Yeah.
Really good player, because he actually was in finals, I think, in the first KOF 14 Evo Grand Finals, and he actually got by. I think his name is ET. I hope I got his name right. He was playing Goro Daimon, and that was insane. That was like insane. He did like the most craziest wake up reversal. You have to watch it. Like, it's a really good match.
I'll have to check it out.
Watching some old school. I was going back and watching some old KOF 14 pro playing like high level matches, and I'm like, I know the game wasn't graphically the best, but those are some good matches.
I haven't really seen anything competitive on KOF 14. I've seen some stuff on 13. Like, all of them though, it's like Mr. Karate, Kim, and just one other character they'll choose. Whether that be Iori or Chin or something. I'm like, wow, okay, this is really what it looks like. So, I mean, we all know Mr. Karate's pretty top tier.
Yeah, that's kind of why I liked, like, that's why I was able to kind of sit through a lot of the stuff with the 14 stuff, because there was a lot more variety there. It was kind of ironic seeing that how Gongil wasn't really that popular amongst like players, like far as just, you know, like, hey, I look like this character's awesome, but like he's very meta. And then watching one of my favorite players from Japan, Koji KOG, who I actually got to it. I got into him because he was this crazy but incredibly good T-Hawk player in Street Fighter.
Oh.
And then I saw him, I'm like, oh my goodness, he plays KOF? Who's he gonna play? And he's playing Verse, and I didn't realize
oh my
like,
god.
I didn't know you could combo like versus supers like back to back. Like you knock somebody down, the meteor's falling, and you do another one. And I'm like, because nobody really played Verse around where I was.
Yeah, I barely saw anyone play Verse at all.
But I guess he wasn't, SNK boss enough to be banned.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, hope you having fun and staying safe out there, Jose. Says on a road trip in California with some family.
Huh.
Super duper in the chat, probably replying to. Remember I was talking about like, you know, the annoyed Yashiro fans that probably hated all the Shermie talk. He was like, that's because Shermie is hot.
Yeah. They got you there.
I mean, there's that, and I mean, she is SNK's undisputed queen of suplexes. So take hotness and add somebody that can do a whole bunch of suplexes. You got that. Like, I know people love Mary and everything then, but how many suplexes does Mary does? She just does a German suplex. Like, Mary's more around, you know, armbar, like the Commando Sambo style. Like, you've seen several different characters have it.
Yeah.
Whether you play this game, whether you played, what was the character's name in DOA? Bayman. Who else did that? Who's a more popular in Tekken? Who was he? Dragunov. You know, but I mean, you take the hotness and you got somebody who's throwing you around like all these different suplexes and everything. Come on. The only request I have is that when they bring her in, if you're gonna remake her theme song, do not revert back to the version that was in SNK Heroine's Tag Frenzy. I hate that version of Shermie's theme song. I hate that version.
Yeah.
Like, listen to like the original version, Siren, and then listen to like the remix or like the remake that's in SNK Heroine's. Maybe you might feel differently, but I think it was awful.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
By the way, all of you in the chat, then give your shouts out to Siren, because this guy got us with a nice, laid back, and from what I'm listening to, pretty funky SNK themed playlist in the back.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like,
give your thanks to him then, because he took, like, I did not know how funky the intro, the little bass intro for Najed's theme song is. So send your shouts out to Siren in the chat.
yeah.
But go ahead while I'm over here bass air guitar.
Speaking of the playlist, that took me a little while. It didn't take me too long, but I thought I had to like think about the tracks. I'm like, well, I don't want all of them to be from 13 because all the music I really like is from 13. And then, some other stuff from 14. I'm like, well, I gotta think a little bit more. I'm like, okay, I'll think of some stuff from 2002 UM and some other stuff. And if I hear anything I like along the way, I'll just grab that. And then I heard that you liked Shermie's theme, so I looked for a Orochi team theme. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, what's some other stuff I like? I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I think is a game that's kind of underrated because it's completely overshadowed by its UM version, 2002. I like some tracks from that. I'll grab some from there. And then I grabbed some other ones from some other underrated games because some of those games have some pretty good tracks. And I hope KOF 15. I'm hoping KOF 15 has some absolute bangers.
Yeah, because Siren told me straight up that he remembered the song that played during Chizuru's trailer, which I still love to this day. It's a good fit for her then. And like on top of that, it's just a really good song. Like I like ethereal, chilled out, like music for the most. Like I like a whole lot of that stuff then. Whether it be like just what they call new age music, or whether it's the more modern stuff that you see like on your different little lo-fi chill hop streams polluted all over YouTube, which shout outs to all of you because y'all helped me through a lot of very long sessions when it came to putting a lot of the videos that you see on my channel together. But yeah,
so far my favorite.
Jose in the chat says I doubt. We said, what's your favorite?
I was gonna say, so far my favorite thing I've heard so far, what they've shown from 15, is probably Terry's theme, the beach one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's very modern. It was a good fit for like the stage.
Yeah. Anyway.
They changed up the song like when they went to the little demo where they had like a simulation of like actual back and forths.
Yeah, they
like another song playing.
They played something from
like that one too,
Fatal Fury.
Almost like something from like I guess.
It's from Fatal Fury. It starts with a K, but I don't remember what it's.
And I do like some of the remastering they've done with a lot of those tracks too.
Yeah.
Like the remastering of what they did in Andy's trailer, that was actually pretty good. It's like you could tell that it's a very retro sounding song, but
they cleaned it up
to where it's you like exactly.
I think they probably found the original one, and they're like, okay, so we're not going to compress the crap out of this one, and we're going to just slap it in and it's like, yeah, sounds good.
I mean, from what I heard, it sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it did. Jose says, imagine if Shermie and Angel interact with each other in a rival cutscene for KOF 15. That would absolutely be beast.
Wow. Yeah, sure.
Well,
I mean, you got the two ladies that in KOF. You got the two ladies in KOF that people play for certain reasons, and sometimes they're really good. They're both grapplers as well, but I would say that they would have some interesting dialogue. I wonder if Shermie would judge her for her weird cowboy boots. Cowgirl boots? Either way.
I mean, being a wrestler and all that, I mean, you will see a whole lot of different crazy attires throughout the wrestling, like, timeline. You only have to go back into the time, like, in the 80s and stuff.
I mean,
had a lot of really crazy stuff.
I guess it makes sense, because her character is from... I guess it makes kind of sense, since her character is from Mexico, and they had cowboys in Mexico, so... I guess that's makes a bit of sense, since she was part of Team Mexico in KOF 14.
Jose also said that I doubt Chris and Shermie trailers will be next. KOF 15 trailers are going to be random, so let's not expect anything too much. I actually meant to put this, I think I cut it out when I recorded my reaction to Yashiro's trailer, but that is going to be the big catch right there. I really feel like the next one is not going to be Shermie's. I don't think the next one might even be Chris's, to be honest. It might actually be Chris's because they know where everybody is looking and who everyone is waiting for in terms of like who will team up with Yashiro. But think this is gonna be like a one behind the other type of deal. Like there's gonna be some more stuff at play here. There's gonna be a lot more twists and turns because on some instances, people think that SNK is just totally out of touch with like stuff that the fans are thinking. And like, I mean, I'm not saying they totally are or aren't, but I'm pretty sure they see where a lot of the hype in what particular character lies where. Like, especially if, especially like what I just told you earlier about everybody in the comment section down there in freaking Yashiro's video. Shermie here, Shermie here, Shermie. It's like,
Man.
it's like, okay, SNK is like, all right then, okay, keep that up then. I'll tell you what, we're gonna reveal her very last. Now they're gonna do that mess, and y'all are gonna come in here and y'all gonna yell at me saying that I'm working for SNK, like I'm a secret agent or something, and I made them do it.
Dang. Nah, they would reveal someone like somehow even crazier last. They'd be like, okay, so we're adding Pac-Man because we have a deal with Namco. They're going to be part of Namco team. We ran out of Tekken characters that we could use the moveset for, so we grabbed Pac-Man. Trying to think.
What you got first today?
Oh, in terms of bullet points?
Yeah, what's the one bullet point you got?
The one I remember the most here is the do you think characters will get new designs? We've seen some, but how many do you think will get? Who do you think will get new designs?
How many?
How many people do you think might get redesigns, and who specifically do you think will get redesigns?
Interesting. Who do I think will get redesigned? Because we've kind of seen a few, I want to say.
A little bit.
Let's see. Shune, did Shune really get a redesign?
No, he just hit the gym. I know the ones we've seen so far has been Benny Maru.
I know.
And
yeah, Benny Maru.
Kyo.
Iori got one too.
Iori, yeah, and Yashiro, kind of. He doesn't have the belts connecting anymore, and he doesn't have the weird things that go around his shoulders. I forgot suspenders. He doesn't have the weird suspenders.
Right. Let me see, cause a lot really. Cause it's funny. I just saw the clip of Mai when she makes that little small appearance in Andy's trailer when she scolds him. If I'm going based off of what we saw there, I don't think she'll get one, which is. But then again, I mean, hey, we only saw like a little bit, and hey, it might just be a placeholder. Maybe like her little cameos like in that trailer, and then we saw her for about 5 seconds in the very first inaugural KOF 15 trailer. Maybe they might redesign her for when they bring her back, like when they bring her out for a character trailer.
Yeah.
Yuri Sakazaki's trailer on here. I wouldn't even call it a redesign. She just got her hair back.
Yeah.
Ponytail back, and doesn't look stocky like she did in freaking 13. I'm not gonna spend a whole nother freaking
I was gonna say
podcast ragging on her design. You all know how I feel about the design at this point. You all know. So, who else have we seen?
I would say Joe, but he doesn't wear much. All that happened is his shorts changed a little bit from last game.
I don't think he had anything like that really, as far as the design.
All that's changed is his shorts. Like the color is different, and there's a couple different things on it, but nothing else has changed. He's still Joe.
Yeah. I might say, since I'm pretty sure we all know who his teammates are gonna be, but between Shermie and Chris, I like to think Chris will have a redesign then. Cause I mean, at this point in time, I know like his soul has been inside of like Verse or whatever, but he's had to have grown up some, maybe. You know what I'm saying? He's had to grow up a
Potentially.
little bit. Like they might make him look a bit more mature, like maybe a little bit older.
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say Shermie just
Then again-
because she's like also kind of like a
Yeah,
fashion buff kind of thing.
Yeah, her too, and it's like they're gonna definitely. I'm pretty sure they're gonna up the fan service ante with her. I'd like to think so. There's that. Who else?
Someone that really could use one, but I doubt would get one is like K-Dash or Kula. We know K-Dash isn't getting one. We've seen it on the trailer. He looks the exact same.
I wonder how would you redesign him though?
You could still keep the glove. The rest of the stuff he's wearing does not really do anything other than be cosmetic. He could be wearing literally anything else. Like, wear something more casual, I guess. I don't know. It'd be something. Change up the sunglasses.
K-Dash is a very casual person. I don't know if he's very casual. You know I've talked about last time. This guy is like legit freaking a big gigantic brat in essence. Then
Yeah.
like he might be walking around thinking what he has is cool, but he's like a brat. He's a giant brat. But who knows? Hey, you might be right. Maybe he'll probably be like, man, I want to see it. I guess maybe you want him like to wear like lighter colors. Maybe is that what you want for K-Dash?
No, but at the same time, just something new, something a little bit more fresh. Unzip the jacket a little. I don't know, do something.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, it'd be interesting to see like if they do redesign him how.
They could really do anything with Kula. Her personality is just, I'm a happy little girl with ice powers, and they could really just give her anything.
Well, the thing about her is a lot of people who are not knee deep and hardcore into the series don't realize it, but once upon a time she had red hair.
She does have orange hair, kind of. Well, red hair, yeah.
Like she was, before then she was gingery, so I mean, knowing somebody like that, who's to say she probably wouldn't change it again? I'm just wondering what you would like change it into, like white hair maybe?
I don't know.
Because she's wintry, I suppose.
I don't know, maybe.
Jose in the chat. To be honest, I want Rio and Kim to have new designs. Those two look the same since 1994. At least they tried to make Terry's look from FF1 and 14, but decided to go with this FF2 look instead. Kim, it's funny because isn't there like a little running gag going on about him?
His pants.
Wondering about the physics of his pants.
Yeah, the reason why SNK took 2 years to actually tell us about KOF 14 wasn't because of the pandemic or anything else. It was that entire time of them having to calculate the physics of Kim's pants.
Super duper in the chat. Know her natural hair is red. It even turns red when she's not fighting. When fighting, her hair changes blue. Okay. So maybe she'll. No, I don't think so. Well, that'd be interesting. Like, if she reverted back to her red hair in 15, maybe. But then again, I don't know. I feel like too many people like blue-haired Kula.
It only really makes sense because she has the whole icy theme. But with him saying Rio, I feel like with Rio and Kim, their designs don't need to change drastically. Mainly because their design is just they're wearing a gi. It's like everything else they're doing is like their design, I guess. But although it could be nice if sorry.
They would?
I would say with Kim, they could give him more of his original design, where it has like the Korea flag on it, because he doesn't have that in any of his newer stuff. But I don't know.
Okay, because my thing was with Rio, they kind of have messed around with his design a little bit, like, especially with. But then again, I guess in that case, I guess Jose's talking about in terms of like the KOF series, because the times when they've kind of tinkered with Ryo's design has been other games like Bariki 1 and the times that he has popped up in Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
Because like that's when he looks older. He has the Mr. Karate 2 mantle. He has like in Maximum Impact. He has like facial hair. You know, his gi is not orange anymore. It's actually like grayish or whatnot with like a black belt. So like they've tinkered around with him. Like I think he's one of the few characters in the series that's like aged, or at least showed signs of aging.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kind of, for the most part, there's like not been nothing really significant. But then again, maybe that's just, you know, switching up the design. I mean, hey, maybe that's the reason why we haven't seen Ryo yet, because they're like, ooh, I know y'all are wondering where Ryo is now, yet we've redesigned him now. Like he's gonna have like, you've seen that one picture of him, like the hand-drawn one there, like where I guess he's doing like an air attack, but he's jumping in the air, and like he has all this like long, almost kind of like freaking Andy Bogart-ish, it's more messy like hair, like he has a really long freaking hair or whatever. Like that's what they're gonna bring back for Ryo.
Interesting.
KOF 15 is gonna have like freaking long hair, like probably even longer than Ryo's though, but he's gonna still kind of, you know, in the face look a little bit older. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the reason why I was drawing blanks. I'm like, I
He's
just
bald.
did not get why people thought that was Ryo in that freaking silhouette they put out. I'm like, this person looks too clean to be Ryo.
The
Like,
two
if there's one
guesses.
thing you can say-
The two
if there's one thing
guesses
you can
I
say
had.
that Ryo and Ryu have in common, they both are kind of, I guess, hobo-ish, I suppose. Because like if you look at all of Ryo's different appearances, then he's very like rugged. He's very like grimy. Like he's not, the cleanest he's ever looked was like that time he went on that date with freaking King that his family set up. And even still, he wore an orange suit.
Oh my god, did he?
He did.
Oh my god.
Look it up. It was his freaking. I think it was KOF.
I think I remember it. It was from KOF 11. Yeah. Guy just shows up in an orange suit. My god. Okay.
And
Something.
they were gonna actually have like a Ryo suit alternate for 14 too, I think, along with the whole Mr. Karate 2 thing. I think they were, unless that was Geese. But then again, Geese's hair is like more sleek.
Oh yeah. I like the design from Art of Fighting 2 that Geese had, but obviously that's not going to happen because Geese is an old man and not young like he was in Art of Fighting 2. But I don't know. Characters that could use a redesign, really, I don't know. Maybe Sylvie Paula. I feel like she could have something a little different. Obviously, her whole thing is being messy, at least with like her design. But I feel like she'd probably change it up to it'd still be messy, but probably a different outfit a little bit. You know.
I wouldn't say she's. I get what you mean by messy though, but like I look at more like tacky, basically. Tacky. I forgot who it was. Somebody out there described Sylvie Paula's design as. I think they said something like if a Christmas gift package banged an Easter bucket or something. Like it was weird. I'm like, jeez. Like, what do you think about in your spare time? You thinking about freaking holiday gift packages doing stuff or whatever?
Yikes.
With the world, but hey, they had a lot of really interesting alternate design ideas for her that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, putting two and two together with what we're talking about right now, who is to say that some of those unused designs might pop up in 15, serve as an inspiration for a 15 redesign? And also, the thing is, this might not have to be across the board when it comes to KOF 15, but at the same time, with Benimaru, I think it actually makes a world of sense. Because several people in my prediction videos were talking about this, and they pointed it out, that Benimaru's new look with that top of his now meant he was gonna go probably move to China, or basically go there, link up with Shune and Meitokun, and be on a team hero, which did happen. See, there is actually a connection of some sort there. There is some symbolism with that change.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking at the graphic right now, looking at the bit of Iori's trailer, I mean, I don't think that Iori's the little redesign, I think, is anything symbolic. There are several people that have likened it to, I think it was a striker for him in one of the striker games or whatever. It's called Another Iori. I think Another Iori had that color scheme, but they upped the ante by giving him the trimming like on his shirt and like on the symbol on his back and like the cuffs on his like. So
Yeah.
I think at least for some characters you might want to, if you want to redesign them, it's got to mean something. Not across the board, because I mean,
he already straight up looks like he's out of like some cologne commercial.
You say he looks like he got some cologne.
He looks like he's from a cologne commercial.
Somebody Iori?
Yeah. It would have like some really basic name. It'd be like Edgy Musk or some stupid thing.
Speaking of Iori, somebody else in one of my videos had pointed out that apparently that whole storyline with Shiro really not liking Iori because his band got more of a push than the CYS, the cis band.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I never looked at like the interview questions for Ishiro. I've never looked at them before, but when I looked at it, it was like the most humorous thing ever, because every single answer to every question until you get towards the end was just, I hate the red hair guy. 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 And at first I thought about it when I first read through it. I'm like, wait a minute, but you got Shirley right there, and he was like, I wouldn't mind teaming up with a red-haired person, but I also want to beat up the other red-haired person.
Dang.
Like just look at it. It's like everything is like red hair until he gets to the end. The very last question, he's like, you know, winning is, you know, such and such. Watch this. I'm like, this guy in this red-haired obsession. Oh my God.
Pretty wild.
Oh God. I didn't know about that until someone pointed it out to me. I didn't know about that at all.
Someone
also found out that during Kula's experiments Ness did on her, it was so intense that it melted her mind back to an infant, which explains why she's so happy all the time.
Wow.
That, my friends, is a very nightmarish.
That's messed up.
Of blissful ignorance. Someone melts your brain and you're just happy all the time. Everything is good and brain got melted. But can you give me some ice cream? My brain is melted. Can I have some cookies? My brain is melted. Can I have some ice cream and sprinkles?
She has like some level of intelligence, so she's not like disabled clearly, but it's like, man, she definitely, it's like stuff melted together. It's like, I don't know, it's like, you know when metal gets red hot or like maybe even white hot? It's like that, but it didn't fully just melt into this blob. It just became just kind of stuck together. And that's basically Kula's brain. He's like, I like ice cream because some nurse gave me ice cream. Or something. I don't know. That's not canon. Don't take that from me. But,
I think Kula
yeah.
got a better deal than Lambda and Blaze Blue, because in one of her bad, I guess her bad ending, what basically happens is that her mind, because Lambda's a robot, she got picked up almost in something similar to Ness. Not exactly, but think about some people that just take people and make them into like very, you know, bloodthirsty killing machines or whatever. And like what happened, you first see that Lambda is dreaming that she's with Ragna, which makes her happy and everything. Like, you would think that, like, how in the world is this a bad ending? Like, she's with the guy that she loves and everything. Like, she loves him, they're there together, like, in nature and peace, and they're sitting over there cuddling and all that. But then you find out she's only seeing this because her mind has been shattered beyond belief. Like, she's dreaming up this stuff, but yet it's a fantasy. Her mind in reality has been shattered to a billion pieces.
Shatter all of
Like,
your brain.
oh, oh, God. You had to slap it. Oh, why? I gotta freaking make a better joke. I need to start saying something in the chat now.
It's like,
But at SNK, why SNK?
I mean, I wouldn't say my expectations haven't been fully shattered by any trailer, but I would say they've definitely surprised me.
I don't know. I don't think surprise all expectations rolls off the tongue that well.
Curve all expectations.
There was something somebody wanted to say here that I wanted to point out. Oh yeah, Jose was talking about, and don't get me started on how Athena changed her clothes. Yes, that was a transformation. That was a transformation. Because I think I remember that being in a discussion somewhere else where they were talking about different characters, like other KOF characters or other SNK characters that could have been Smash, and someone was talking about something. Well, what about because the whole thing about it wanting to be like a woman or whatever, like a female. It was like, well, what about Leona? And then they were telling us, oh, but they wouldn't want Leona because if you recall, like she might not be as out there as Mai, but see, she's still. But I'm like, she's so straight-laced. But then you mentioned it last time about like the green outfit that she had that looked more like something that somebody I guess amongst the Ikaris would wear.
Yeah.
And for some reason I guess she loosened up, and then we got the Leona we got now, and it's funny because we've seen her like early back in January, and no character trailers come yet. Like, cause part of me wonders when you brought the subject of design changes. I wonder, is there anybody that we saw in that first trailer that we haven't seen since then that they haven't shown because something is about to get redesigned or redone?
Huh. Yeah, probably. I mean, I bet Ralph and Clark are gonna look similar to what they looked like in 13 and be
They're coming back?
jacked.
You think they're coming back?
I think they're coming back. I mean, they're almost in every single game, basically. They're like a mainstay. Like Terry, or Rio, or those kind of things.
So you don't think that team is going to be shaken up at all?
I could see them shaking it up. I'm not 100% sure how they would shake it up. I feel like the whole thing is the Ikari Warriors are military, right? So really anything could happen. Like they could put her on they could put Leona on a team with like I don't know some other military people, and then they could have it could be like a team like Leona, Ralph, and Whip, and then I don't know, Team Hayden could be Hayden, Clark, and Adelheid or something. I mean, they could switch it up. They're all part of a unit, except, Adelheid, but honestly, I feel like he honestly deserves to make it in some way. I feel like Rugal would be too OP, just because he's Rugal and he has all this weird BS, like, got Genocide Cutter. Oh, you want to jump at me? I don't think so. You don't ever get to jump at me. And then you have Kaiser Wave, which does quite a bit of damage and is relatively fast. It's not. It's slightly slower, but like that thing goes like full screen, and not full screen, but it'll go like, what I mean by full screen, right? It will go across the entire screen, but not like It's not gonna. Never mind.
I do feel like one thing that the Yashiro trailer really actually also increased my faith in is the fact that I do think Rugal will be back, because now we've gotten like one of the first characters that was amongst that flock that came back to life.
Well,
Verse vanished or whatever you want to say.
the reason that happens usually is
Like,
what I think is
and
because
then
of.
on top of that, like OP Rugal might be, that guy is still iconic. That guy has been one of the most missed bosses. Well, in an ironic way, it's like they hate his SNK juiced up form, but boy, like this guy is a legend.
Yeah.
The only thing that still kind of gets me though is just how do you reintroduce him in a storyline like this one? Because yeah, I figured maybe would he possibly be on a team or whatever? Because you know, at this point with Yori on the Sacred Treasures team, that leaves Vice and Mature, who I doubt are going to be relegated to DLC. But who are they with then? I mean, yeah, they are they're in league with Conant, but they hate that guy. They would much rather go over with Rugal. But someone, I think it was JT, I know some of your names that I talked to. Like I said, I really enjoy talking about y'all with this stuff. But he pointed out something that made me walk that back a bit, and that's the fact that do you think that somebody like Rugal is going to be forgiven towards them, given that every little thing they've done is still fresh in his head? Because someone else brought that up, where it's like, everybody that has been released or anybody whose soul was inside of Verse, what all do they remember once they're released? Do they remember everything prior to when they got, into Verse? Or do they not? That's a good question.
Who knows?
What do you think?
What I think is, I don't know. I think the thing with Rugal coming back to life is obviously possible because of Verse, but I don't think it's just because the thing he said with Chris and not Chris, Ishiro, is that he's a member of Orochi. People who are members of Orochi have come back to life before, like Vice and Mature.
Right.
And I think since they're, part of Orochi and how they sacrificed themselves kind of to bring Orochi, I guess spoiler alert for a game that's over 20 years old. But,
I think they know. They got it.
Since they basically sacrificed themselves, I feel like they'd have a good chance of coming back through the Orochi power. I mean, Vice and Mature did it. Why couldn't they? So, yeah, I see Orochi it's just the dark side. It's just like, that one thing from that one really stupid line from Star Wars. It's kind of stupid. If you've seen the newer movie, or like the very last one, he's like, the dark side of the Force has some properties that are considered unnatural. I'm like, yeah, that's what I think about when I think of them coming back to life. It's just the stupid Darth Sidious thing.
Well, in part, might as well be Kanan the Undertaker of KOF. Well, I mean, they've been around that long. The thing with me is the fact that, and I mean, I understand it doesn't play, I mean, clearly it doesn't really play all that much of a role, because when you look, because one thing that you've seen me do throughout the many prediction videos that I've done, I have always talked about that poll that was done by that one streamer, I forgot his name, about the popularity of KOF 14 characters in KOF 14. But clearly that doesn't fully apply here, because Bates and Kunin sure never not that popular, and yet here they are again.
Yeah.
I always just thought the fact that people really wanted, or like, supposedly, I'm saying supposedly because, I mean, I know those numbers aren't the only ones, but apparently people really like, I guess all the DLC for the most part in 14 were basically fan favorites or desired by fans, with the exception being Najed, because Najed was created like for a contest.
Yeah.
Which I'm so happy for. Shoutouts to the artist Mashael Abarak that created Najed. I love you for that, because I love that character. Anyways,
I
mean that.
She's very difficult for me to try and play. I'll say that. She's kind of difficult for me to try and play. but that's good.
But the reason I bring up the poll is because Whip and Hyder were both DLC, and both of them just so happen to be more popular than Ralph and Clark.
Yeah.
Now, I just thought that maybe with this, and you pair it with this whole shatter all expectations. God, I need to start keeping a tally of how many times I say that. But anyways, I was thinking, put those two things together, maybe they will, probably shake up that team.
I don't know if you saw this, but
it might not be. However, it might not be so across the board though, because everybody, including myself, until a friend of mine told me to walk it back, I kept thinking that they could easily have gotten a new Team Fatal Fury, or like at least a different type of Team Fatal Fury, because the 3 popular characters in that poll were all Fatal Fury characters. But my friend, one of my close friends, shout outs if you're watching, you are, brought up the whole thing is like, I know everybody likes Rock, they love Rock, but SNK has yet to address Rock being canon in this storyline. And it's really difficult to have Rock around if Geese is alive, because Rock did not become the Rock that everybody loves until after.
Well, he brings up a fair point, but Rock and Terry still technically hang out, and we know this kind of from his win pose, kind of, because Rock shows up in that, in some of them. I think it was like 2000 he showed up, but yeah. Sorry for cutting you off there.
No, it'd be cool. But the thing is, they hung out, but it's like because think about it, you know what happened after Geese died, and Terry pretty much raised him. Like a lot of influence came from that.
Yeah.
Now, what you're saying right now, they could easily explain Rock's canon by doing that right there. Rock might be still growing up at this point. But as far as like putting him on a team with them, they have yet to like even really, like I said, unless like there is some storyline stuff that we don't know about, which there probably is, because we get little bits and pieces, because we found out about why Team Hero is the way it is. We kind of know about why the Sacred Treasures are the way they are, but there's still a lot of story as far as the lore to be plugged, like, and answered. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing we got really was like Sacred Treasures, why Team Hero is the way it is, who all has been confirmed to be alive with Burst going away, and that's about it. Like, we still don't know what is going to become of, I guess, after what even happened with Ash after Elizabeth and Kukri found it.
Yeah.
Because some people are actually insisted that that is not a team, which I'm a little bit kind of sort of walking back a little bit there. But like I said, there's a bunch of plot holes to be there and everything. So
I don't know why they wouldn't make them a team.
And we still have to know about it. Say what?
I said I don't know why they wouldn't make them a team. It makes sense for them to be a team, but who knows?
Well, it's kind of, I could kind of see one reason why, and that is, clearly, despite all that we learned about the relationship with Ash and Elizabeth, Ash is almost like, if I would say, you take the brattiness of K-Dash, but make it to where somebody like that does not want anything to do with anybody, and he means it.
Huh.
K-Dash basically acquiesces to the people, like, for instance, Kula and freaking Maxima being with him, even though, of course, despite how much he might kind of show off that whole edgy side of himself and everything, K-Dash still holds, especially, like, he holds the two of them in some high regard, at least, even though he might not show it.
Yeah.
Ash is, like, freaking... But then again, Ash has been on a team before, but that was, of course, with, I think, wasn't it Duo and freaking Shin?
Yeah, but he kind of just grabbed those guys for like, I'm gonna have these guys. You guys come with me because I need teammates, and I think that's why. But I don't know.
Jose in the chat says Rock will be canon in the KOF timeline at some point. SMK Heroines is proof that the limbo is now officially broken. I feel like people looked at SMK Heroines so much like freaking KOF trying to cash in on the fan service stuff that DOA does, like, you know, Tecmo and Team Ninja and all that, but a lot of people forget the fact that it is canon. A lot of people forget that it's canon.
Yeah.
And Super Duper in the chat, I have an idea. Since Verse has the ability to bring other fighters from different universes, why not bring in Rock from the Fatal Fury timeline into the KOF timeline? That is something that I have talked about in some sense, not on the video, but if you look in comments, because it was one time I was talking to somebody about it. I think it might have been JT again. I know people, especially people that look at fighting game lore and stuff and all that, they probably don't like this because so many fighting games have been using it recently. But I feel like, hey, I feel like time travel or time, you know, bending of some sort will officiate Rock.
I mean, I'd love to see that, but who would he team up with?
So, Rock could easily be a solo entry.
Could he? I mean, I feel like there's really two ways he could really go with it. If he were on a team.
Any Garu people with him?
I mean, if you were to bring Garu people with him, it could be like Hotaro Futaba, because he was gonna help her find her brother apparently, and then probably someone else. I don't know. Hell, maybe we might even get Wild Wolf Terry as a separate character. That'd be stupid though.
He's gonna have to. Well, okay, that could work.
The other thing could be Kane.
I could give it that. I could give it that.
It could be Rock, Kane, and Grant. Purely because of the end of Garo, where with the ending with Garo with Rock. And since Kane, I feel like Kane feels like he deserves a spot somewhere in a KOF game. He's a cool final boss. He has some mystery, but he's a fun character.
Yeah.
He's a little similar to Ash in how he plays, but I think he's kind of cool still.
Crimson Boy.
My favorite character out of that though would probably be Grant. Grant is a very fun character to play. Because he's like this big dude, got all these like crazy moves. So I like Grant quite a bit, but yeah.
Fabio in the chat says, so Jean D'Arc can make it into. Let me say it right. So Jean D'Arc can make it into KOF 15. That is actually on my current prediction board, and the biggest thing that drove me to that, and it's not really hardcore proof supporting Jean D'Arc, but nevertheless it means I'm pretty sure if they do this again, something is going to change. So when I first started doing this, I overlooked the very clear fact that when you look at Nakotoru's team, Team Another World, one of them more than likely is not going to be in KOF 15. That is, of course, Love Heart, because they do not have the roster anymore.
Yeah.
The only way it's going to happen is if they strike a certain deal. That's about it. Which, who knows? They might actually strike a deal with them to let it fly. Yes, no, maybe so.
I mean, it could also be another way to shake up teams, though.
And the reason why I brought her is the fact that, hey, she was in SMK Heroines Tag Frenzy. Why not ride that wave? And like I said, the way I look at Team Another World is Team Another World, aside from the fact they kind of sort of shoehorn them into the storyline, but aside from that, that team is pretty much part more of like the whole nostalgia pandering, basically. Because all those characters come from fairly obscure games compared to like the ones everyone knows with SNK. If you look at all the other characters, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, You got Nakororu, like Samsho, of course, is pretty. Samsho has a cult following, but compared to like, it's no Fatal Fury or AOF. And I'm not dissing the game. I love Samsho.
I thought.
And then, of course, you got the other two characters that are pachinko characters. Most people, when you talk about pachinko characters, they look at you funny.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Pachinko games in it.
I mean, Alice is a pachinko character.
Yeah. Like, the pachinko stuff was hella present in 14. Hella present.
I mean, yeah.
But I would be down for that right there. And, like, a lot of people don't know, Joan was the first to use the whip sword in fighting games. The first, even before Ivy Valentine. Even before Ivy Valentine.
Dang.
Yep, it's true.
Something I just thought about is, what if a team of characters from Aggressors of Dark Combat?
Aggressors of Dark Combat. Aggressors of Dark Combat. That'd be interesting because Aggressors really didn't have that many standout characters. Like, far as like anybody that could stand out and like be put in a game where it's like, oh, this character's cool. Because they kind of had a guest character with Kotaro, because that was
A striker?
I was called the red. He was like the red only to freaking. Dang it. I think Hanzo Hattori was the blue only, but whatever.
Huh.
However, I mean, at this point, I mean, why not put freaking put Bobby Nelson on a team with Lucky Glover? I guess.
Oh my god.
Team basketball. Oh my god! Like, I thought the mess with Lucky was silly at first, then, but you got this guy Bobby Nelson, and he has the mess surgically attached to his hands. Like, he's over here pushing, like he's doing pump fakes as attacks and jumping up with it like he's gonna do a slam dunk, and that's a short Ryukin and everything.
Oh my
He's
god.
got quote unquote Tatsu, where he's holding one leg out and the ball out and spinning around like. And the messed up part about it is like Bobby Nelson is the only weapons user in Aggressive Dark Combat. It's the basketball.
Wow.
Fucking basketball. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. What else you got for me, man?
I didn't really have a ton of bullet points for this week because I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Oh, I sent you a picture in Discord. I don't know if you saw that before, but
Oh, okay. Okay. What is this?
you could see some of the peoples in the back there, kind of on the side there. Something that would be interesting in KOF. Something that would be cool in KOF, obviously, people have been talking about it, is like a third-party characters team. Like, I don't know, character, like, you got like, I don't know, Ryu, you got like, you got, what's his name?
I would rather they pick
Kayusa?
anybody other than somebody like from Capcom. I would much rather they pick somebody not from Capcom, because if they do that, it's gonna seem almost like a missed opportunity for CBS 30.
Alright, I don't know. Soul Bad Guy. Heihachi Mishima.
I'm not saying like what you said was wrong. It's just like that was just my personal preference.
Yeah.
You mentioned Soul Bad Guy. It's like, well, we still got that freaking Guilty Gear character coming to Sam show. Speaking of Fabio in the chat, Last Blade team. At this point, why not ride that wave since we got a Last Blade character in Sam show?
The only reason I think that couldn't exist,
Especially seeing that
There's only one reason I think
I'm trying to think.
that a Last Blade team couldn't exist, and it's purely because that Art of Fighting and Last Blade are within the same place. They take time in different eras, but Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, and the Last Blade technically all take place in the same world. Since
I mean, in that case, then why in the world is Nakoruru in that timeline?
because
Because verse.
well, yeah, but it's part of a different world. It's not like a whole like time thing. If you're gonna mess with time travel, well, I mean, I guess the whole thing with Rock maybe, but
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I mean, they could, but it's like, I mean, we've been messing with time all around. Why can't you mess with time when it came to them? However, I think the mess with Sam show is. I think the stuff with like Hibiki Tsukane being a Sam show is good enough.
yeah, I'm trying to think.
Like.
I'd love to see like characters like Krauser return, or like something like that. We haven't seen him in a while.
I mean, it depends if Krauser can be relevant again. I'm like, what is he gonna do?
He's got
Unless is he gonna be like a spectacle team, like where everybody talks about the sports team? Like, is it gonna be like a spectacle team?
he's got the Kaiser wave. He's got the other stuff. I don't know. You could grab him, Lawrence, and some other dude. I don't know, Axelhawk. I haven't seen him in a while.
Like, are they gonna be like a spectacle team?
They could be like Team Germany or something. I don't know.
Germany.
Team Germany.
Krauser.
Team Europe.
Shot.
Yeah.
My bad.
It could be like Team Europe. I don't know.
Jose Urbina in the chat says there was a character in Last Blade that's actually Eiji Kisaragi's ancestor. That is true.
Yep.
The funny thing about it is I've been seeing a lot of people like doing these little theories where they're drawing like lines between certain like multiple like fighting game franchises within like the same company, and they'll draw like parallels to them. Like I didn't read into it the other day. I saw it, just a headline, but it was somebody and they had put in the headline, they put in the title that it was a theory, but they were saying that there was a theory saying that Josie and Tekken was like a long Prussian ancestor to Talon in Soul Calibur. It's like I've been seeing so much of this is like they're drawing parallels between like all these different games and everything. It's like I kind of like when franchises do that. I actually dig that a whole bunch because if you can like execute it perfectly, it can actually make for a pretty good story.
Yeah.
Honestly. But that's what that reminded me of. There is a character in Last Blade that is ancestor of Eiji Kisaragi.
Huh. Well, actually, I did not that.
I have to remember it was Kisaragi because there is a character in a fighting series called Battle Arena Toshinden, and I keep because that's Eiji Shinjo, which is basically like anime Ryu, but he's younger, or baby-faced boy, has taller hair, and he uses a sword. That's basically what Eiji Shinjo is.
Oh, is he the guy with like kind of like a Betty Maru haircut?
Kind of, sort of, but like it's he has tall hair, like I said, but yeah, kind of, sort of, just not as like neat, basically. But that's what Eiji Shinjo looks like. He's basically like a lean Ryu, but instead instead of using his fist, he has like a sword. Like he even has like the white gi thing and all that. There you go, Kaede.
Huh.
I think it's to do with the white hair. Is that all? No, I think Maria Minakata had red hair. I think Maria Minakata had white hair. No, he's red hair. Red hair. How much? You said you didn't have anything else really to talk about?
Didn't have a ton of things here, but
I thought you said you didn't have that much.
I don't. I only had what I had for today was bullet points was talk about Yashiro. Is Team COIS returning in KOF 15, and do you think characters will get new designs. That's all I got for this one. It's like
I say, you're ready to do some. Ready for the numbers? You ready for some numbers?
I guess we're about an hour and 15 in, so I'd say so.
Okay, so I want your input on this then, so it's not just gonna be me. It's not gonna be a me segment.
All right.
So unfortunately, I did not get around to getting a video out for predictions, as I said in the Yashiro video that I did when the trailer came out. So instead, just as a treat to some of you here, there, that keep up with me, first of all, thank you for being here. And number two, we're going to kind of do some KOF 15 somewhat predictions live, so to say.
Yeah.
So the big thing that I'm looking at here has to do with how many characters are going to be on this roster. Now, we've discussed this before, but I broke everything down based on how we've seen SNK reveal certain things to us.
Yep. All right.
So, let's start from the top. There's 52 Wednesdays in this year that we have here. 52.
Yeah.
Now, we did not get the first KOF trailer, not character trailer, the first KOF trailer. The one where we saw Mai, Leona, K-Dash, Kyo. You get it.
Yeah.
We got that in the second, we got that within, I think, the second week in
January. Yeah.
I think I did a typo here because I said the second Monday after the second Wednesday. So you take away one from that 52, we got 51. At the moment, 11 character trailers have dropped. And of course, they've been putting them out every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Now, even with the double reveal, we got that 1 week where Chizuru was revealed at the round table.
They didn't do it on Wednesday.
They didn't do it on Wednesday, but still, we can count it as such because, if you recall, SNK took a break. Because I remember that it revealed that, I think,
That
the week before the last week of February, because they made that announcement saying there was going to be no trailer until the first week of March. So, since then, we've had 11 trailers.
Yeah.
So, you take 11 away. You take 11. You take 11 away from that 51. We got 40. We got 40.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, we're going back to that first trailer. We saw Kay, Mai, and Leona. They were shown in the inaugural trailer, but we haven't seen their official character trailers yet.
Yeah.
So we take away 3 from that 40, we got 37. Now, here also, we take away 10, because that's 10 for the partners of each confirmed character that has yet to be revealed. That is K-Dash, Mai, Leona, Yuri Sakazaki, and Yashiro. And for the record, I do not think any one of these 5 are going to be on the same team. So thusly, that's 5 of them, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, that's 10.
Yeah.
So you take away that 10 from 37. We're down to 27 now. And after that, this is where we can possibly differ, if you know what I'm saying. We could possibly disagree here. And I'm pretty sure we can because I don't have the information on this.
Okay.
This wraps up into a prediction that I personally have.
Okay.
I think, and oh yes, the Chizuru music is playing on my side. Yes. Yes. Just feel it. Just let it feel it. Just come on in. Sorry I'm getting like into a mood here, y'all, but I just love the way that sounds. Okay.
The nameless theme's playing for me.
Cool. So, prediction here is that I think the final main roster character reveal trailer is going to be on December the 15th.
All right.
December the 15th will be the last character trailer that we'll see. So, with that being said, that takes away 2 Wednesdays from the month. I mean, not the month, but the year. So you take away 20, you take away 2 from the 27 from the previous step, and we're down to 25. So now, 25 at this point, based on my predictions, that's how many remaining Wednesdays there are, and possibly character trailers. So now we take that. Now we start working a little bit backwards.
Honestly,
We're going to add 10 to that 25 because that's the 10 yet to be confirmed partners of all the confirmed characters that are not on the team yet, and I still stand by it. Those 5 characters I mentioned, K-Dash, Mai, Leona, Yuri Sakazaki, and Yashiro, they are not on the same team. I'm sticking with that. So add 10 back to the 25. We have 35 now. With that being said, plus 3 on that 35 for Mai, Kay, and Leona. We've seen them, but we haven't seen their trailers yet. And I doubt that they're going to relegate them to DLC. I really doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, I doubt that as
So
well.
now we're up to 38 now. We're up to 38. And so now add 11 to that 38. We got 49. That's 11 for all the confirmed characters that we have thus far. So now we take 49 and we divide that by 3 for 3 characters to a team. That is 16 trio teams and a solo entry.
Huh. Okay, that's quite a few.
That is the crazy math that I've done. And I did that and I kind of looked at my current predictions and I had to, in order to like be within the threshold that I put together, I had to axe 4 teams.
Wow,
And
okay.
I don't know how I would do that. However,
What'd you say the final number was?
That might, what's up?
What was the final number you came up with?
49.
49. Alright.
Because like basically what I did in the beginning was shave off all like the Wednesdays and all that stuff, and then we added back on some of the stuff we took away because we added back on everything that we know. The only thing, like, now I will admit there's a couple of things that will definitely possibly screw this up. One, if one of those 5, well, if even one of those other characters that I mentioned, the 5 that they're confirmed but not on a team yet, if any one of them happens to be on the same team, then yes, this kind of does fall apart. But I doubt that. The closest that you will get to like any one of them being on a team is if it's Mai and or Leona. Well, excuse me, rephrase that. Mai and / or Yuri Sakazaki or Leona.
Alright.
That's the only way it could happen because clearly they are not a team because there's 3 women in there, but we did not get the graphic that showed that they were on the same team. So no.
Alright.
Now here are some things that might also break
Your
this little bit of math that I did. These numbers.
Your mic audio.
Thing
Oh, okay.
is of course. What's up?
Okay, never mind. It fixed itself.
What's up?
Your mic audio dropped for a second there in quality, and then it
No.
went back up.
Well, I probably was like trying to pause and like not ramble too much.
Okay.
But now here are some things that might also break up this bit of numberage, this crazy math that I've been doing.
Okay.
One is the fact I mentioned it earlier, and that's the fact that there are some teams that from my last prediction video, I would have to remove 4 teams for it to be at least 16.
Huh.
And I'll put it like this. I'll say it here now, but I might reiterate it again in the next video just in case. I know everybody doesn't watch the podcast, but just to keep everybody up to speed. But one, as far as teams to remove, one team, and I think you kind of alluded to this earlier, and that's the fact that I might remove the team that I had with Goro and Shingo on it.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, now that we have confirmation with these 2 partners from the previous game being on teams, I cannot see Goro leading a team himself. Who knows? We might see him. We might see his trailer next. I don't know. But given his 2 partners who are much popular than he is, and I've seen other people speculating that Goro might be done for, especially with this whole shatter expectations, and then the teams will be composed much differently. So more than likely, I'm going to remove that team from my prediction board.
Okay.
The other team I'm going to remove is probably Team South America. I've mentioned before that I like all 3 of those characters. I think they're cool. However, I will acquiesce to the point that they really did not have a lot going on with them as far as like story. And unfortunately, from what I understand, looking at like the general population, like not the general population, but like the general, I guess the fandom or whatever, looking at the poll, not really that popular. None of them. So there's a chance that I might cut that team. Also in my predictions, I had 2 new teams of new characters. I don't know about getting rid of both of them, maybe one, but I don't know. I have a feeling that there can be some new characters in this game. So I don't know what to do with that. The next thing that might throw a wrench in this, and that is of course Evo.
Yeah.
We've been seeing reveals every single Wednesday throughout this year for the most part. And take into account that 1 week where we got 2 reveals instead of 1. We got a bonus reveal for what was basically a big event or a special event, if you will.
Yeah.
That was the round table. Evo is set to be online this year after the acquisition from Sony. August the 6th through the 8th and the 13th through the 15th. Regardless, I'm pretty sure you know it, Siren. I know it. You all know it. But aside from exciting matches, you know that these companies come sometimes with some really big hype announcements.
I think they could potentially reveal teams during these big events, not just characters, but teams. Like,
exactly.
I think
exactly
they could.
What one of my friends has said right there. They think that when we get to this point, there's going to be a team reveal in Evo, not just a character, but team or multiple teams. And the thing is,
I think the same thing goes for
the Chizuru thing.
I think the same thing would go for like E3 or something.
Yeah.
Because like I could see them revealing a team at E3.
Yeah. But then they said on top of that, it's not just going to be like a new team and it's like, we'll take 3 weeks off. Like, no, they're still going to keep revealing characters. Which brings me, of course, to like the last thing that might throw a wrench in this. 2 things, actually. One is the fact that, are there going to be any other special occasions for special reveals? Maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it might happen. Yes, no, maybe so. But events like that, you know, because tournaments and such, they are not very plentiful at the moment. So,
Yeah.
And the last one is the fact, and this is something that even I believe in, is the fact that there's bound to be more than one solo entry. And I'm saying that because when I took the number that I had, divided it by 3, had a remainder of 1, I'm fairly confident there's going to be more than one solo entry. We've seen this before. There's been more than one solo entry back when Kyo and Iori were like going solo. There was more than one solo entry when it came to 13 because it was Psyche, Ash, Billy.
Yep.
There were 2, I think, also technically in, if you don't count the DLC in 14, Verse and freaking Antonov.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to call them that, like, some people like don't call people like Antonov and Verse solo entries. They're sub or mid bosses / main bosses.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I mean, a lot of these games, though, typically have 1 or 2 solo entries. Like, even KOF 2002 had all the, like, Kyo clones. And, like, I think Nameless wasn't on that particular team either. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't on it. Yeah.
You're right.
But, like, I don't know, there could be potential solo entries.
Jose in the chat says KOF 15 had way too many newcomers, new characters that anyone barely even played. Basically, just saying like there was way too many new characters in 14 to the point where nobody really played them. Comparatively speaking, I guess I can agree with that. Because, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about that, plus also looking at that poll. Because, like I mentioned earlier, I was surprised to see that, Gong Gil was apparently a meta character. Surprised to people playing first in tournaments, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
There was somebody even playing Zarina, which made me happy because I love Zarina.
I mean, I don't find that surprising with Zarina. She has some relatively good moves here and there.
But yeah, like I don't think the newer characters, like I don't think like most of them had that much of a big impact, as far as like a big impression on the fandom of the community. Like the ones I can think of that probably had the best impression of anybody is probably Luong and maybe Kukri, I want to say.
Those two seem quite popular, yeah.
Big time favorites. Because what other new characters were there? Like I said,
Najad?
I really like Team South America, but they weren't that popular.
Najad?
Najad actually was very popular. Well, you saw a lot of her, but unfortunately, and I hate to put it like this, but it is the whole truth. Najad unfortunately came in at a time where King of Fighters 14 was declining in popularity. When you put it next to stuff like Street Fighter and Tekken and all of that, like that's why 13. Which, like I said, I get the appeal of 13. By the way, the freaking saxophone thing for Orochi and you really freaking knocked it out the park with this playlist. Good job, man.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
Anyways, no problem. But yeah, she came in at a time where, unfortunately, the game was like kind of declining in popularity, and I don't think that Najed single-handedly brought like a revival or whatever. And y'all know I love this character. I am not trying to bury Najed, far from it, but I think the big draw for it was Rock, really. Like,
yeah.
A few people I played KOF with around where I live in, they were wondering when was Rock coming in? When's Rock? When's Rock? When's Rock? When's Rock? So, but Najed did get a lot of play in for what I saw in the competitive scene. Because I remember looking at like some of the standings at the results, and like Najed was on like a nice chunk of teams. So yeah, I said Najed. I don't think Najed was a flop. I'll put it like that. Najed wasn't really a flop. Teams out there.
I think Antonov did alright. I think Antonov did alright. People seem to like him, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, Antonov, I think, had a cool factor to him then, which is really good if you can make somebody like that, a character like that, like, you know, the big, strong freaking guy, when you can make people like them and they're not too much of a carbon copy of another character.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
And like I said, I mean, the guy is, what more could you ask for? Somebody throwing his back at you and he's actually taunting and flexing at the same time. I mean,
yeah.
So him, Xanadu, I personally like, but from what I'm seeing, Xanadu wasn't super popular.
Not a massive fan of Xanadu.
He was down there with Gong Gil, so.
I do like Gong Gil though. He's kind of fun. But yeah.
They unfortunately did not develop him all that well. Like,
really, what I think they gotta do if they bring him back is they gotta give him more moves from like maybe his other disciples. Like I think
like
that would improve it.
Put a little extra on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause like even when I play him, I sometimes feel like he's missing a move here or there, and I'm like, I mean,
I think he got upstaged by his girlfriend, so.
Yeah.
military right now, and down where he is now, they play a lot of fighting games. Like it's more of a smash centric area, but he described Luong's level 3 to them, and they were like, "We gotta pull this up. We gotta see this." Like,
yeah, or Climax Super.
and then like they would wonder like, who is she? Yeah, they would wonder like, who is she and whatnot. And they told them, well, you know, she is this dude's girlfriend or whatever. Like, that's boring. So it's like he clearly got upstaged by her badly, which I don't think you can help it then, but
yeah.
Who else? Who else is new? Loveheart, like I said, I thought Loveheart was that character that nobody would care about, but I don't know if I just had the luck of the draw, but when I started my prediction series, there was boatloads of freaking Loveheart fans.
Oh, wow.
There were boatloads of them. It was like, no, Loveheart rocks, who's so upset with the freaking copyrights keeping her out of the game? And I agree with you there, Jose. Yeah, they gotta really do that. I love Naja's design, like I love her playstyle, but we have got, if they bring her back, which I hope they do, but we've got to freaking get a story. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody rustling Kim's Jimmies is not that freaking, it's pretty cool, but come on, you gotta give it something else. Because right now we still don't know exactly who would Najed have a good relationship with. Like, we still don't know.
Team Doom and Gloom, you got Najad, you got Kukri, and you got Dulon.
People like Kukri. I mean, people really like Kukri, and I mean, not even so much like his playstyle. Like, they just like the way the character looks. Then, probably
yeah.
Like, you look at him and you think you're getting one thing, but you get another. Because you would look at him one time and thinking like, oh, here we go, the freaking angry edgelord. I fucking hate all the people. They got a team of these two freaking little girls. It doesn't matter. I'm in it for the money anyway. And look at the hot chicks. That's why SNK Heroines was made. Like, you think like somebody like that is just gonna have like a bunch of dark powers or gonna like a freaking strong person. But what is he doing? Throwing around sand. What?
I mean, I wouldn't really consider him super edgy. He's just like a weirdo.
That man.
The outfit's kind of edgy, but like,
he's kind of edgy.
To me, he's just a weirdo man in a dark outfit trying to cover his face.
Well, you know, given the fact, I guess I can hand you that because given the fact that he was over that tournament and we found out it was all his thing, I guess I can give you that. I guess he was he was being a pretender, I guess.
Yeah.
He was being a freaking pretender, like, yeah, I'm edgy or whatever, but I'm just here to freaking check out, like. Loveheart is still in copyright hell along with K49.
Well, we got a little guy named Nameless. Now, I don't know if you hear about him, but he's basically the same character.
How do you hear about somebody that doesn't have a name?
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess you technically do because you hear he doesn't have a name.
If he technically has a name, but the name isn't very exciting because it's basically no name. My name's Nameless. What?
I did a dumb sketch in one of my freaking videos. I think it was the one talking about like characters with weird names or whatever. And I had this sketch where this random guy in the street, I guess, meets Nameless or whatever. Hey, so what's your name? I'm Nameless. You don't have a name? Nameless. Well, I'm gonna call you Dad. My name is Nameless.
Wow.
Jose in the chat, I appreciate like your input, man. I really appreciate it. Let me toss this to you right here first, Siren. Could Sherry be teaming up with Angel?
I doubt it. They don't really got too much in common other than being wrestling chicks with interesting choice in clothing. They,
So
I mean, I guess, but I couldn't really see it much.
all right. I don't really see it either. Like, you want to talk about a team that really sticks together? The band is definitely it.
Yeah.
The band is definitely it. However, if we see some type of shakeup, then I would love to see why. Maybe Shermie left because apparently because Yashiro was bad at letting people like be being clear about what redheads he doesn't like. So I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the other one, the one that got our band freaking, we didn't get a chance to rock out or whatever.
Chris ate the last dumpling, and now she's leaving the team. Not this Chris, the other one, the one with the.
He's getting in on it. Dang, I miss Shuichi. But there's that. What are you talking? What? Jose said that's savage. I wonder what it was because me and freaking Siren cracked a bunch of jokes there. Let me know exactly what you're talking about is savage. I want to know. Something else he put here that was interesting. Notice that Maxima and Cooler are not with K-Dash in the very first trailer. Could this mean K-Dash is going to be teaming up with someone else?
Who knows? Anything's possible.
Go ahead and say it. I know you want to say it.
Shatter all expectations.
I need to embrace it. Speaking of, I'm glad I told you to say that because I didn't notice. I'm gonna start with. I'm just gonna freaking take the one graphic that you have, like with the lights on there saying the Shattering. I'm gonna put it like in a separate like playlist or something because I have one of the older ones without it. So let me make sure because I like it with the neon lights on there better.
All right.
If you ask me, look, SNK has really been playing with everybody's emotions and playing with everybody's speculations and stuff. When it comes to these trailers, they've really been playing around. Like Team Fatal Fury, for instance.
Yeah.
Team Fatal Fury. Everybody was thinking like, because I know people were coming at me when I walked back my Terry Rock Mary team. And it was like, everybody keep talking about, like, they're gonna be on, like, everybody keep talking about they're on the same team. How can, maybe they might get shaken up then or whatever. Maybe they'll be on 3 different teams. It's like, see? That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's what they're gonna do with the K-Dash team.
They probably will. I don't know who they team them up with other than maybe like a Whip or something.
I mean, people really like Whip. I mean, maybe it's Whip's time. Maybe it's Whip's time to shine. Maybe he's not going to be DLC this time.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. But if the game really is going to cut out what people saw as very unpopular characters, maybe Whip might replace Maxima. But I almost look at K-Dash's team when you look at him with Maxima and Kula. And I look at it almost as like there's like a perfect dynamic here. There's such a perfect dynamic, and it's like, do they really want to give that up? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I mean, yeah, them and the Ikaris get along very well, but I just don't know. I really don't get it. I mean, not that I don't get it. Like, I just don't see why they would get rid of and like let go of that dynamic. I really do not get it.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Maybe that's the reason that we've seen them. And I mean, honestly, what you said there, make sure again. Yeah, they're not with him in the first trailer. Well, I mean, freaking you could say say the same thing about Mai and freaking
Leona.
Leona. Yeah, it's like because like I said, I'm still of the opinion that all of them are on like different teams. All of them have to be on different teams. They've got to be.
I'd assume so as well.
Probably the person that guesses the women fighters team correctly, because, like I said, that is a very, very, very diverse team. That is a very diverse team.
I mean, I feel like Maya is gonna lead it now that she's not on a team with like Andy or something, or that we know that she's not gonna be on a team with Andy.
Right.
So I feel like she could probably lead that team. Cause like, what else would she do? She's just what? You gonna lead a team with Banderas and Ijiki, the ninja dude from Art of Fighting.
But the big question is who are gonna be your partners though. That's where like the diversity is, because that team has had, I think,
Alice maybe.
When it comes to classic teams, say what?
Alice, I feel like.
That would depend if they still want to like invest, like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I like Alice. I don't know the general consensus of Alice. Everybody that I've talked to about her seems to think that she's actually all right. So
it's like a mix between the three Fatal Fury characters.
Yeah. And like I said, they could totally do like a storyline where she's like, I mean, I know it's kind of stupid, but I mean, people like stuff like this. But it's like somebody who goes from like just being a fan, and then it's like they start developing more of their own style. Like, you know, they put more of their own twist on, you know, what Terry does and all that, like the Fatal Fury style.
Yeah.
Basically just evolving into more of her own character. Like, I was trying to say it, but I mean, hey, it's whatever, but like a Sakura in Street Fighter, you know?
Yeah.
She's kind of a Shoto clone, but the character continues. She grew more into her own style of things. Like, so I still feel like I don't know. I'm just still wondering where Vanessa falls, to be honest.
You think Vanessa would even be in the game? I mean, she's quite popular, but who knows? I feel like if they were to do Vanessa again, it could be like Vanessa, Seth, and someone else. Because we haven't seen Seth in a while, and he's kind of fun. It could be like Vanessa, Seth, and I don't know.
Lynn is actually pretty underrated too.
Yeah, I would say maybe Lynn Dulon and someone, but also I don't think Lynn likes Dulon. I don't know. There's characters.
I just don't see why they won't put.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just don't see why they won't want to put like Vanessa like on the freaking women fighters team for once. I mean, like, she's been in like all their endings, and she usually like kind of instigates like some of the barroom brawls that happen sometimes or whatever. I know she instigated it in 13. 14 was just King was like, you know, hey, Rob, pay for us. Pay for our food, pay for this person's food, pay for that person's food.
Yeah. The other, I mean, she's much older though than the other team members.
I mean, but that's when you want somebody like that, like maybe I'm just thinking from my perspective. And then, like I said, maybe it's because I just don't want to see Vanessa be DLC. Because come on, man, back-to-back DLC and come on, man.
Yeah, that would.
Games, DLC, come on.
Yeah, that would be a little messed
up. You gotta have more sense than that, SOK. You gotta have more sense. You got to. Probably giving out too much credit.
Team boxing, you have
just
Vanessa, Heavy D, and what's his name? He's from Fatal Fury 2. Not Wild Ambition. Fatal Fury Garu something. He's from like.
The man Cyber loves his Fatal Fury characters.
I do. He's the boxer basically that gave Vanessa her moveset. It's Fatal Fury. Oh, Real Bout. Fatal Fury 2. Yeah, Rick. Yeah. Rick, Shroud, Vanessa, and I guess Heavy D for Axel Hawk or something. I don't know.
I feel like they should put. I feel like they should put. Well, I don't know. I mean, I was about to say they should probably try to put Nelson in there, but then again, I don't know. Maybe he has shaken the team South America stench off of him. Maybe.
Yeah.
I just like his more different approach when it came to like the boxing. Like his style was like so weird, but like it was at least something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow, the Grant theme just kicked in.
What else you got here? What does it mean for Leona? Will she remain with the Ikaris or some other team like military related? I think we discussed that. I think Siren is firmly in the camp of the Ikari original 3.
Yeah. Well, not original 3, because technically the original 3 was instead of Leona, it was Haydn, but the one that people most recognize, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. Sometimes your first ain't the most known.
Yeah. Not to say I wouldn't like to see Haydn again, because Haydn is one of my favorite characters. He's really fun.
I say he was more popular than Clark and Ralph were, though.
Haydn?
Like him and like at least in that particular poll, him and Whip were like way ahead of him.
Well, that's why I could see maybe Haydn and Whip being on a team with someone else. I usually say Adelheid because that's what a lot of people say.
I mean, that would still technically be an Ikari team if you think about it.
I don't know. Who else would join, though? Would it be one of the Ikari warriors? Would it be, as I keep saying, Adelheid? Would it be one of Haydn's other members? Like, I don't know, maybe like, what's the assassin's name? Oswald? I don't know what happens to Oswald.
Somebody told me about Ozzy. Like, it's not that I don't want him in the game. It's just that I don't know where to place him. Like, when I do my predictions there, I don't want to just throw characters at the board. I want to at least have like a team, or at least have something situated there. Because someone's like, you should put them up there. It's like I don't want to just throw characters at the board.
Maybe.
Even though I mean that wouldn't be too bad. I guess you throw them at the board and then you try to make teams out of that. But
I mean, I think with Oswald, there's a very slim chance for him to join with Shen and Dulon. But I don't know if Shen would forgive him since the ending in 11. And I don't know. I would like to see Shen again. And Hua.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Shen definitely. Jose also brought the fact like what Yashiro said. Oh yeah, the whole thing about him hating redheads. Like I always wondered about them. Like you got one on your team. Like how do you hate them? Then again, I guess one of them is Iori and one of them is a hottie, so maybe he doesn't really care.
who knows?
Gaidel is pretty much resurrected now. This could be an interesting storyline for the. Oh yes, absolutely. I just thought about that. Yeah, Gaidel her father's alive.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. Team dads? Like, is it gonna be freaking Saisyu, Jeff Bogard, and now Gaidel?
Would
freaking dad team?
Would Saishu and Gaidel get along though? One's Orochi, and then the other is
No. I doubt it. I doubt they get along. Unless like Kyo and Niori are like, hey, look at here. You see, we put our differences aside here. I still can't stand this ginger idiot or whatever, this ginger emo loser.
3 sacred masters.
You said what?
3 sacred masters. It's like the treasures team, but it's their like parents. You got Chijuru's dad. You got Saishu. You got Gael. And now they're all very similar, but they're also all very different. I don't know how that would work.
Like that's the only way I could see those two coexisting there. Is like if Kyo and the set, I was like, look, we put our differences aside. How about you guys do it too? If we can, if I can sit over here and stay with this freaking emo loser, you can too. Come on. 3 Sacred Dad team. Do it. Nah, no way. But I do think Guidel might play some type of role in this game than, like, I guess, as far as Leona becoming reacquainted, I suppose, that's the word to use.
I never get why people think Jeff Bogart's coming back. Like, I get it that there was that ending with Shunei, but, like, at the same time, I don't know. I feel like it's just Tung Fu Ru just thinking back on his disciples. I never really saw it as, like, I don't know.
Well, now that you think about it, I'm honestly kind of leaning towards maybe Jeff might not at least be on, like, the main roster. Because the reason why everybody was talking about Jeff Bogart, especially, as you mentioned, with that trailer, but the ending with Team China.
Yeah.
But additionally, this was around the time when we had got Shunei confirmed, and we got his trailer, we got Mason Kun's trailer, and then in came everybody guessing about teams. And everybody saw that particular trailer basically thinking that, their third member, like the third member, freaking Shunei and Mason Kun's partner, it's got to be one of these people that freaking Master Tung Guru is thinking about. Fast forward, we found out that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be somebody who is almost kind of, I think, has barely any connection to any one of those people that he had on his mind. Tung Furu's, that is.
Yeah.
Nimaru instead. And he was told by Kyo to do it. So, I don't know. At this point, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about that too. Because I think if, like, going by the numbers that I've done, I would like to think that, albeit it might be bad, Rugal is going to be the one that's going to come back. Now that we got one person confirmed, and now on the roster, that was resurrected as a result of everything with Verse. But part of me even wonders, like, how the world would Jeff Bogart even play?
I feel like he'd be similar to. I feel like he'd have some similarities to Terry, but also have some similarities to like Geese and Tongue. I feel like I don't know. I feel like he might have count.
Master and son.
Like I feel like he'd have Crack Shoot. The only thing I think he'd have Crack Shoot as like one of Terry's moves, and maybe like Power Wave, but like everything else is like something else. Because from what I remember, I don't know. The only reason I say that is because, at least with Crack Shoot, is because in the King of Fighters Destiny, yeah, I know it's not canon. When he fights Geese, he basically does a move that's basically Crack Shoot against him.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Jose also is like, makes me wonder, is Leona going to follow the same path as Rock did, like in his arcade ending from Garu Mark of the Wolves?
Follow Kane?
I can see where it's coming from there, because it's like more of that, figuring out self and all of that, finding out like the truth and everything, and, because Rock kind of, it's like that storyline you see with a lot of people, like characters that are orphans. They want to go back, they want to figure out who their parents are, what they did, what royalty they might have come from, where did they come from, the slums, am I part of some dynasty, and like if I go back home, will I get the crown or whatever?
Something
Leona really has just been living with like an adoptive father, if anything, because that's all Hydern really is.
Yeah, something I just thought about, just because the like the KOF 15 trailer theme like played for a second on my thing. I just thought about what if, since there's this whole time travel stuff, what if, or not time travel, but this whole like verse reality crap, what if at the end of this the whole KOF timeline gets reset? Because think about it, they've done some stuff that has had similarities to the first game. In terms of like the first trailer literally had the same music from the King of Fighters 1994 and had some other things. They've shown retro music in some of these, which I think those are just references, but like I don't know, I feel like there's potential for that to happen. Especially since Verse is this big entity who's kind of pulling the realms together. But who knows?
Right. Jose pointed out that Shattering did team up with Saisu and Takuma in KOF 98 as the Masters team, but it very much was likely a dad team. It's not canon, but he just wanted to bring that up. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe that might be it. Maybe it might be Saisu, Shattering, and Takuma, but that would knock a bit of a hole in my prediction about the AOF family team.
It could be they could fill the gap of Takuma with like Gang Il.
Alter ego.
Well, I was gonna say Gang Il, or like maybe even Jeff. But
they should do that, honestly. Maybe put like Gang Il on another team. I need a. Somebody said like in the manga for I think 14. I think Kim was seeing somebody else. Like I guess Chang Choi. Maybe I'm not sure.
I don't want to see that again. But yeah.
I'm curious as to like whether or not he's gonna shake off like his freaking mentor and his freaking girlfriend or whatever. I mean, I don't mind freaking Long, but it's just Gang Il, bro. It's like.
What if it was Kim, Jaehoon, and like what's his name?
Mei Lee Jinju?
Sure, maybe Mei Lee or Mei Lee, Kim, and what's his name? John Jaehoon.
All this time, I never paid any attention to it until when I was walking my friend through because he had just gotten into KOF 2002 Ultimate Match.
Or John Hoon.
I did not know about it.
John Hoon? Jahoon? Hold on.
John Hoon.
Yeah.
But no, like, I was walking like through like different characters and stuff, like even the lore and playstyles with a friend of mine that just got into 2002 and I totally did not know like the team that I forgot the other two characters unfortunately, but Mei Lee Jinju's freaking partners there, I did not realize they just basically that was legitimately the Women Fighters Mark II. They just called themselves the Pretty Girls team.
Wow.
I did not like. I mean, because the only one I thought was cool in that team was Mei Lee. Really, that's it.
Huh.
The other two really just did not catch my attention. But yeah,
What if the women's fighters team? I just had a thought. What if it's Mai, Luong, and what's her name? Alice.
I mean, did Luong and them get like along? Like, did she? Oh my God, the rhymes. Did like she develop any type of friendship with Mai and I guess other women fighters and whatever?
No, but would this be the first time that they've just grabbed random girls for the women's fighters team? They've kind of done that before.
I wouldn't be against that team. I would not be against that. I mean, like I said, I played all three of them, so that would be at least finally for the first time in a minute. That would be like a full canon team that I would play.
I got a question for you.
You got what?
Got a question for you.
What's up?
If you could have a team Capcom composed of any characters you want, who would it be?
In KOF 15?
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the team that I had like in the one video I did. Maybe Cody, Guy, and Maki. Because Cody and Guy have never gotten a chance to really mix it up with like anybody in the SNK. Like Cody and Guy were not in either one of the none of the CBS games. They weren't in, not that I can remember, in SVC, were they? I don't think so.
No, the only character from an SCVK
they were like in the card.
Yeah,
they were in the card games.
Yeah.
Like the only time like they really even like crossed paths with anybody, Cody and Guy that is, with anybody in SNK was really just the freaking card games, which I don't consider those. Like not so much because I didn't play them, it's because they're not fighting games. I hate to sound like a purist, but they're card games.
Yeah. If I had an ideal Capcom team, it would probably be.
Like Cody and Guy weren't in SVC Chaos.
Yeah, the only character from the only character from Final Fight that got into SCV Chaos was the big guy with the purple outfit, Hugo.
Hugo.
If I had to choose an ideal Capcom team, it would probably be Goken, Akuma, and probably Ryu. Goken is probably my favorite Capcom character, purely because he's the only one I really play that much, apart from maybe like Dan.
What? You got a hole in a Capcom team you're trying to put into a guest character? Like, oh my god, I messed that up so bad. But basically, you got a hole left like in the team that you're trying to import into another game. Oh, you didn't put Ryu in there? Ryu in there.
Yeah.
I would much rather like they get somebody like maybe Kage, you know.
Kage would be cool, but
like somebody new, you know, Kage, Manat, freaking like I know I'm naming new characters, but it's like I don't want
Zeku.
to like, look at a team and just think like, wow, like they could have legitimately gotten a freaking, they could have legit got like freaking CBS 3, but we got CBS 3 Lite in the form of like a team.
I mean, we kind of got that in Tekken 7, to be honest. We had a cool.
It'll get, to be honest.
Yeah.
It'll get, which is kind of messed up. It had to be another game. Another game.
The only thing I think what they would do probably if it was is as I said before, and I've probably said more than once, is probably they would just do just a couple of characters from different companies. Like I think they'd have an SNK. No, they of course they'd have SNK characters in an SNK game. No, they have a Namco character. I think they'd have probably a Capcom character, and probably, if I had to guess, maybe an Arc Systems character.
I would much rather they just like play into the whole thing where Geese freaking showed up, where Heihachi was meditating. Just go for a Tekken team. On top of that, that'd be groundbreaking because, like, in a way, so what? Because we haven't seen like we haven't seen Tekken in a 2D verse since Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
I mean, they are technically in KOF All Star, but who really counts that?
I don't. That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Like I understand, like I mean, but then again, like everybody's a freaking All Star. Freaking like
The Rock.
a lot of the like if you look at like my Team Wish video, like a lot of the backdrops I use for every single like number or whatever, it was lifted from like promos from KOF All Stars. They freaking put the WWE characters in freaking KOF All Stars.
Yeah.
That is a crossover upon crossovers there. Once upon a time, like when KOF was just like in its first phase or whatever, like when it first became a thing, some people called it Guest Fighters the Fighting Game because, I mean, it was a big crossover.
Yeah.
AOL, freaking Fatal Fury, and we had some obscure games get some representation, and then, hey, who's this freaking schoolboy guy with the freaking Ryu headband? Well, I forgot, never mind. Ryu's headband is red, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Jose in the chat says he would like to have Goken, Ryu, Ken Masters from Street Fighter 4 and or in KOF 15, like how Akuma invaded the Tekken universe. So basically, you would want them to be canon. Now, if it came to a Capcom or Street Fighter character or whatever, if it came to one of them becoming canon to the universe, I'd be down for it.
Yeah.
I'd be totally down for it. I just don't like, I mean, hey, if you can't give us CBS 3, pulling something like having Akuma being like a part of the canon, or like any character, whatever character you pick, every characters you pick.
It would be kind of interesting
Canon, like they did with
to have
like
Goken
Akuma,
instead of Akuma.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big. Like, however, I mean, hey, and that could even like if I could imagine this. This is like I'm already getting like an idea of like what that could blossom into.
Yeah.
Let's say it actually happens. You get a Capcom team in KOF 15, and not just a guest character team, not just any old guest character team, just to get some extra bucks and to get more eyeballs on the game. But no, they are canon. And let's say that the turnout is like really good, like the impact that it has exceeds what they were expecting. More than likely, after seeing that, both companies should be convinced above all that CBS 3 should happen. And let's say, for instance, such an impact actually makes it happen.
Yeah.
Not only are you bringing CBS 3 back, but you could also build towards it. Like, have an ending for that team when you play all 3 of the Capcom characters, or if it's Street Fighter, whatever it is, Capcom.
Yeah.
The ending freaking teases the ever-loving glory and purity, honey and tea, and all great things that you love in their ending. They tease that CBS 3 is coming. And then on top of that, there's a big, bad storyline for CBS 3.
Huh.
Not only are you bringing back a franchise that everyone's been asking for the longest time, but now the hype is off the charts.
Yeah.
And then then having a storyline with it there, now you could have more time to experiment with like single player content. You know, story mode or whatever. It could kind of be something like what they did with Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Like, that'd be a hell of a build right there.
Yeah.
Only if it builds towards CBS 3, I'd like a Capcom team to be a guest character team in here, because if it's just a one-off, then I'm gonna feel like it's a blown chance. Now, I know that might be a little bit too mean, because, I mean, hey, stuff happens with companies, and sometimes you draw the money you need, sometimes you don't, but geez, just geez, you would look at that and it's like, man. And part of the reason why I came up with that whole scenario in my head is because I'm still standing by it to this day, and I'm not just saying it's like a cheap ploy, but Akuma being canon in the Tekken universe, I am still insisting to this day that that right there is them planting the seeds for Tekken Cross Street Fighter. That is my theory.
I'd like to see. I mean, I guess that'd be pretty cool to see.
A Shattering podcast theory.
A Shattering podcast theory. That's just a theory. A shattering theory.
We got ourselves a new segment.
Oh no.
It's gonna be your turn. It's gonna be your turn next week. You gotta drop the most craziest freaking tinfoil hat freaking theory that you have about the future, or it could be something just as simple as like these characters are related or something. How does that sound? How do y'all like that? A new segment.
Oh my god. The boss from Galaga and Terry Bogard are the same person. You've never seen them in the same room? No.
Hey, stop.
Eh.
You do that right there, you better write it down. You better get your research done, because you're on next week.
Okay.
You're on next week.
Well, I've got an entire break
If
to do that, so yeah.
If you can't cook up something, it's fine. Just throwing out ideas, trying to make like, you know. Alright, I'll take one more from we're over the 2 hour we're over the 2 hour hump then, but I freaking love the contribution that Jose is bringing us, and this last question seems really interesting, so we will hit this one up right here.
All right.
And we will call it a night. Do you think that jobber named Shingo Yabuki will be in KOF 15? He's pretty much been missing since KOF 11, which was back in 2005, or 2002 Ultimate Match, which was back in 2009, but don't know if that counts. All in all, we're just talking about is Shingo going to be back?
I think so.
I have honestly, well, matter of fact, let me hold up because freaking Siren, I think Siren got a Super Saiyan aura going. I think he has something. Go ahead.
Oh. I think he could potentially return. I think either as DLC or something like that. I don't know if he'd be on main roster though, because he seems like a solo entry kind of thing, in my opinion. Unless he has some crazy team where he's like, okay, so hey, you Alice, I know you also are a rookie. So how about you come with me? Hey, who else? Oh, you're a new guy. You're a Yori's trained person. Yeah, you. Yori's little sister. Come here.
So basically, you look at Shingo as like he's picked like Shingo basically goes around and he picks up people that haven't been on teams yet, and he's like, well, you can have a second chance then. You can team up with me. Like, yeah, you didn't make it on the Fatal Fury team this time because they didn't want to shake everything up, but hey, you can join my team then.
Rock Howard and Shingo.
Team second chance.
Team second chance.
Oh, Shingo's awesome. Shingo's awesome.
Yeah.
He personally, like, he just was in the hospital nursing an injury, wasn't he? Because he was basically cheerleading for, not really cheerleading, but, you know, he was just cheering for Kyo and company and all that.
Back in 13, so, yeah, he was on the stage with the giant Tengu mask.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. That would be a pretty nice, like, shtick for Shingo if they bring him back. Like, take all the people, like, teams that have been shaken up before, and, like, let's say, for instance, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, team comps that people wish that certain teams had, but they've been confirmed not to be. Like, for instance, this might be kind of wild considering the different levels these characters are on, but I'm going to push through it anyways. It's Shingo, so ridiculousness is not that much off the rocker. But the whole thing with Team Fatal Fury being, my prediction initially being that it's going to be Rob, Terry, and Mary.
Yeah.
Well, seeing that that's not the case, and unless, let's say for instance, the women fighters team gets full before Mary can get on that, Shingo, you know, I guess with his, I mean, he might be kind of a joke, but I'm pretty sure the guy got some type of charm with him then. Like, he could legit assemble like a team of like, oh, you got left out then? You can join my team then, we can show them.
Yeah.
I'm lifting this because there's like a team like over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's called like Taguchi Japan. Taguchi being the name of like this one guy who's kind of a joke character, but for some reason this guy has a team assembled of everybody who is not in a faction in like New Japan. Because like there's a whole bunch of factions, a whole lot of groups in New Japan, but there's some outliers. And he even like, and the guy hits a home run because he's even had like, who's considered a superstar in the promotion. He's had him on Team Taguchi Japan before.
Huh.
So you got like, that's what I'm thinking, like that's what I'm thinking Shingo could be. Like Shingo could be like, yeah, he's kind of like a jokey character or whatever, but the kid's got a lot of heart. And like, it appeals to people that might be on the same strength level as he is, as well as he might appeal to somebody who's more of a veteran.
He's like, just on a team. He just grabs Dan Hibiki, the other joke character. Imagine. That's the Capcom. That's the Capcom crossover. Nah.
Unfortunately, I think Shingo could actually freaking tap Dan on the shoulder and Dan would lose, honestly. I mean, Dan, at least in Death Battle first, lost to Hercule.
I feel like Dan is a little...
He lost to Hercule.
I don't even know who Hercule is.
The Dragon Ball character, like the freaking guy with the mustache and the afro, the one that's...
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that guy before.
The thing about him is, for a human, like somebody who's a legitimate martial artist, he's actually not that bad. He's actually pretty strong. whenever you put him next to the Z fighters and stuff like Goku and Gohan, Vegeta and company, he looks like a Dan, basically.
Thing with Dan.
Because he beat Dan in Death Battle. Because I mean, yeah, Hercule might be kind of a joke or whatever. They call him Mr. Satan over there in Japan, basically. But anyways, but Hercule holds one thing over Dan, and like that's legitimacy. Because Dan has won a fight before, but Sagat basically jobbed himself out for him. He threw the fight at a pity. So
the thing with Dan is the difference between Dan and Shingo is Dan has shown the ability that he can use chi in some way because he can throw his fireballs and he's got all this other stuff. And then Shingo over here can't even produce fire like half of the other roster of KOF.
I mean, he can brawl though, and then like Hercule doesn't have like the ability to use chi. Like I know Death Battle, like I know Screw Attack Death Battle did it though, but like it's very legit. Like even though the way the fight went down, if you watch, like just watch the Death Battle, like it's actually because usually if you've seen Death Battle, like the freaking simulations are actually very
somehow.
all that.
I mean, they've messed up in the past before as well, but I mean they have messed up in the past, but that's completely different. The only reason I wouldn't trust Death Battle 100% of the time, and it's because this one video is where Jotaro lost to the guy from Fist of the North Star, and it's because they straight up they even said it in their video, and it's like. I think it was an oversight because Jotaro was able to destroy something like there was a number that was way higher than freaking the guy from Fist of the North Star, and then he somehow still won. Also, the fact that Jotaro can just straight up freeze time, it's just I don't know.
You're gonna have to talk to like one of my friends who's also named Cheshire, who is freaking JoJo fluent. Like, the only thing I know about JoJo's is that I played All-Star Battle Royale and I thought freaking Jolene Cujo and Lisa Lisa were just the best.
I literally.
Jolene Cujo.
Oh, I remember the first time.
Throwing a bunch of freaking baseballs at somebody.
I remember the time the first time I saw Rose, which when I saw her in Street Fighter 4, I know she's from Alpha, but the first time I saw her, I was like, she's literally just Lisa. Like.
That's another reason I like Lisa because I love Rose. But like I said, because I'm not saying like Death Battle is sacrosanct or whatever, but it's like the Hercule mess with Dan, that right there is no argument with that. You can't freaking you can't put somebody's one win against someone who basically could have probably killed him, and him just throwing it.
Yeah.
Alright, I got you. My bad, Jose. But I'll give him that one because, like I said, at least Hercule has legit wins, even though he has like a crap ton of freaking illegitimate ones. So.
Yeah.
Ones where he had Majin Buu do the heavy work and everything. Now, on the other hand, like I said, the reason why I actually don't watch like the show religiously is because some of the mess is a little bit lopsided. Like at first, I thought, you know what? Maybe the Ken Terry match won't be that bad. Actually, maybe this might be a good one.
And then there's the anime.
They talked about what Terry did in the movies, and the mess. I'm like, nope, Ken is done.
He's dead.
And also another thing I have against him is the fact they matched up Shadow with freaking Vegeta, and they made Shadow an idiot. Shadow the Hedgehog's not an idiot. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. Like it's not Knuckles.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all got a little bit of extra there. Thank you, Jose, and thank you everyone else, Suichi, Super Duper, everybody that tunes in. Everybody over there in the Sirenverse there, thank you all for watching and supporting.
Yeah.
About to close this up. Got anything that you want to tell our viewers there, Siren?
I don't know. I had an idea I wanted to throw around, but I don't know if we could actually do it. Is maybe bring a guest star on here sometime.
Oh, definitely, definitely,
Something
yeah, I'm down for it.
I'd love to see if we could
Yeah,
get.
Chief.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was about to say. I'd love to see if we could get Chief Red Star on here.
I'd love to get Chief in here. That'd be awesome. Hey, if you want to try it, hey, whatever you can pull off, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. But yeah. Anything else you gotta tell the viewers? Anybody?
No, not really. I mean,
Alrighty,
make
then.
sure to check me out if you haven't already. But
If y'all didn't catch that, he said check him out on his channel. That is Siren X Richix. Well, excuse me, Siren Richixon. I keep putting an X in the middle. What am I saying? Siren Richixon TV. Like I said, his link to his channel will be in the description of the VOD once I can access it. And thank you again, Jose. Peace out, my mans. And thank you all, everybody else, for watching. Until next Saturday.
yep.
Catch us once again on the Shattering. See y'all next time. Thank you
See
for
y'all
tuning in.
next time.
See y'all.